Dear students, we know that the Indian Constitution adopted on 26 January 1950 is not just a legal document, but a visionary blueprint that sets forth the ideals, principles, and values upon which our nation was built. By exploring its features, we can better understand our rights, responsibilities, and the vision of a progressive India. So, let us discuss what are the important features of our Indian Constitution. Detailed written Constitution. The Indian Constitution is like a very detailed rule book that contains all the important laws and guidelines for how our country should run. It covers everything from the rights and freedom of people to how the government should work and make decisions. It's written down so that everyone can read and understand it. It serves as a guide to ensure fairness, equality, and justice for all the citizens of India. Self-made and enacted constitution. The Indian Constitution is a self-made and enacted constitution, meaning that it was created by people of India themselves. It was not imposed on us by any external authority. Our leaders, representing the diverse voices and aspirations of the nation, came together to draft and finalize this important document. They spent years in discussions and debates to ensure that it truly represented the will and vision of the people. Finally, on 26 January 1950, the Constitution was officially adopted, marking a historic moment of India's transformation into a sovereign democratic republic. Indian Constitution is often referred to as a borrowed constitution because it drew inspiration from various sources around the world. It incorporated elements from the constitutions of different countries. For example, it incorporates elements from British parliamentary system such as the rule of law and parliamentary democracy. Additionally, it incorporates principles from American Constitution such as fundamental rights and the concept of judicial review. This amalgamation of ideas reflects India's quest for an inclusive governance model. The preamble of the Indian Constitution is a brief introductory statement that outlines the fundamental values and aspirations of our nation. It begins with the powerful phrase, "We the people of India," emphasizing that sovereignty resides with citizens. It expresses our collective commitment to justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, which are the core principles that guide our democratic society. The preamble acts as a guiding light, setting the tone and objectives of the Constitution and serving as a reminder of the inclusive and progressive vision upon which our nation is built. India is democratic because it follows the principles of a representative democracy. It has free and fair elections where citizens have the right to vote and choose their leaders. The government is formed based on the majority support of elected representatives. There is a separation of powers among the executive, legislative, and judicial branches, ensuring a system of checks and balances. Citizens have fundamental rights and freedom, including freedom of speech, expression, and assembly. Finally, India has a constitution that provides a framework for governance, and protects the rights of its citizens. India is called a republic because it has a system of government where the head of state is an elected representative, not a hereditary monarch. India is called a republic because it is a country where the people have the power to choose their leaders. In a republic, the leaders are not born into their positions, but they are elected by the people through voting. The citizens of India have the right to vote and decide who will govern them. This means that the power lies with the people and they have a say in how the country should run. Fundamental rights are basic human rights that are guaranteed to every citizen by the constitution of a country. These rights protect individuals from the abuse of power by the government and ensure their dignity, freedom, and equality. They include rights such as right to life, freedom of speech and expression, freedom of religion, and the right to equality before law. Fundamental rights are essential for a democratic society and it provides a foundation for individuals to live with autonomy and dignity. Fundamental duties are a set of responsibilities or obligations that every citizen of India is expected to follow. They are outlined in the Indian Constitution. These duties include respecting the national flag and national anthem, upholding the unity and integrity of the country, promoting harmony and spirit of common brotherhood, safeguarding public property. They also involve cherishing and preserving the rich cultural heritage of India and protecting the natural. Directive principles of state policy are guidelines or principles included in the Indian Constitution that provide a framework for the government to establish social and economic conditions that promote the welfare of the people. These principles are not legally enforceable but serve as a Indian Constitution is considered both rigid and flexible. It is rigid because certain provisions of the Constitution can only be amended through a special amendment procedure requiring approval of a two-thirds majority in Parliament. This rigidity ensures stability and protects fundamental rights and essential democratic principles. However, the universal adult franchise refers to the principle that all adult citizens, regardless of their gender, caste, religion, or socio-economic background, have the right to vote in elections. It means that every individual above a certain age, that is 18 years, has the equal opportunity to participate in the democratic process and elect their representatives. Independence of judiciary means that the judiciary, which includes judges and courts, operates independently and impartially without any interference from the executive or legislative branches of government. It ensures that judges are free to make decisions based on the law and the constitution. With judicial review is the power of the courts to review and interpret laws and actions of the government to ensure they are in line with the constitution. It allows the judiciary to determine if any law or action is unconstitutional or violate the rights of citizens. The purpose of judicial review is to maintain the balance of. We have to remember that understanding and being aware of the Indian Constitution is crucial as it empowers us with the knowledge of our rights and responsibilities, enabling us to actively participate in shaping a just and inclusive society. Embrace the Constitution as our guidebook to create a better future for ourselves and the nation. Thank you.